handling and treadwear for a safer, smoother, quieter ride. Best of all, it costs less. See the new Matrix at Twin City Tire, $4.94 at Lindale in Richfield.
You're watching KARE, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, I'm Steve Kufkin. We're all drug ballers from Edina. Good morning, 11 Country!
Now, from the action center of the Twin Cities, News 11 Sunrise. With John Bachman, Marty Burns-Wolf, Steve Carroll on sports, and Barry Zaban, the weatherman.
Good morning and welcome to Sunrise on this Tuesday, August 26th. I'm Dennis Stauffer, filling in for John Bachman.
And I'm Andria Shaine, and I guess if you're headed out to the fair today, you may want to do that this afternoon because we're going to get a little rain.
Wet out there right now. Let's check in with Roy Finden. Roy, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We do have some showers this morning. Rain is in the forecast for this morning, changing by afternoon. Call it Mom Nature cleansing your palate from yesterday.
Okay,
Thanks, Roy.
Thank you.
Topping Sunrise. The search continues this morning in Cameroon, Africa for more bodies.
More than 1,200 villagers have already died from inhaling a deadly gas. The gas was released during a natural explosion from the earth. It spread over 6 miles in that area, killing thousands as they slept. Officials say the death toll could climb higher. U.S. officials say it's possible there may be another explosion. Health workers in Wisconsin are trying to determine the cause of a mysterious outbreak of Legionnaire's disease. So far, hospitals have reported that 1 person has died from Legionnaire's and another 3 have died from what state officials have classified as atypical pneumonia. State officials are expected to release more information on the outbreak at a press conference today.
The company which owns Frontier Airlines says it'll try to get bankruptcy protection for Frontier today. People Express says it is still looking for ways to salvage the airline, which stopped all its flights on Sunday. United Airlines has offered to buy Frontier, but so far that deal has been stopped by disagreements with Frontier's labor unions. And contract talks for another troubled company will continue today in Des Moines. Hormel is working with union negotiators to find new agreements covering 7 plants. Hormel's chief negotiator says he expects the talks to continue for a long time. The union negotiators say they figure the talks will go on for at least another day or 2.
The battle continues this morning between the city of Mounds View and Williams Pipeline. Mounds View City Council voted last night to have Williams install a valve that will be handled by remote control. A section of pipeline could be easily shut down in case of an emergency. Williams will consider the request only if the city will stop its protests of Williams' attempt to test the pipeline. A final decision may come later this week. St. Paul police this morning are asking for your help in finding a woman they think may have been kidnapped. The last time 25-year-old Sheila Robinson was seen was on August 15th when she was getting into a car with 2 men in it near Sherburne and the Dale area in St. Paul. The car is described as a late model station wagon. The men are described as white, between 38 and 42 years old with medium-length light brown hair. St. Paul police ask that you call them at 292-3650 if you have any information, and you can remain anonymous.
A Wisconsin man is free from Ramsey County Jail this morning. Thomas Volz, the driver of a truck that reportedly struck a security guard at the gates of the state fairgrounds, has been released on his own recognizance. Officials aren't really sure if the guard who was hit by the truck or rather fell into the truck. Police arrested Volz after he fled the scene. And News 11's Carolyn Marinan successfully negotiated her way into the fairgrounds this morning.
She did that with an admittance ticket, and she's standing by live with a report now with some woolly friends, we understand. Good morning.
Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning, Dennis and Andrea. I do find myself in some fun positions here. I may never come back to the newsroom. In fact, you can probably hear a nice chorus behind me full of bahs, and I think they know they're on TV because it just started going louder. We're here today because at 8:30 this morning, judging starts here at the sheep barn at the State Fair. 8:30 they have judging, and at 1 o'clock. And it's quiet here except for the sheep. They just started, really. They know they're on TV. But overnight, it was a lot more crazy in here. People trying to get ready for the first show that starts this morning. With some bahs for a backdrop, Dale Carter put the shears to the wool. With only a few hours till showtime, a good cut was in order. And Dale knows all about trimming. At home in Battle Lake, he's got 55 head of Hampshire, so he's had a lot of experience with judges.
What we like to see is a long neck that blends into a real smooth and narrow shoulder. We don't like them very coarse at all. We like them to be real angular up into the into the back through the shoulder here. And then we look for a lot of muscle, a lot of meat, and a lot of length in our sheep.
There was a little more preening and spraying, then the coat went on to keep the real coat clean. Then it was back in the pen with friends. There was still plenty more to do for Dale. In fact, he was up all night clipping and cutting to get ready for the show. And if his work wasn't already cut out for him, some guys had to make it even tougher. A little noisy maybe, but not enough to stop Dale, who's hoping that some of these faces will bring him ribbons in the ring. These guys won't come over and talk to me, but they're telling all their friends about the fact that they're on News 11 and it's getting around here. So I'll tell you what, we're going to be back here later to talk to you about Ag Pride Day, because today is Agriculture Pride Day at the State Fair. And I'm going to go see if I can't get them to talk to me instead of all their friends for now.
Okay, hand them some 11 pins for us.
They're all acting like a bunch of sheep, aren't they? Just following one another right into it.
Thanks, Carolyn. Thousands of kids enjoyed a day at the State Fair as part of Kids Day. Children were admitted to the State Fairgrounds free of charge if they were under 17. But that did not stop moms and dads and the rest of family members. They were not about to be left out in the cold and the old-fashioned fair fun.
And Roy Finden joins us again this morning with a look at a semi-wet forecast.
That would cover it very nicely. Yesterday, in fact, with the dew point up in the 60s, could almost have been called semi-wet if it wasn't for all the sunshine. But a sticky sort of day, but that's changed significantly, and we expect even more of a change by tomorrow night. Always something happening in the weather. Always. At the moment, the temperature in the Twin Cities is at what could be called a mild 67 degrees, and it is raining over much of the metro area, and there's just a little northwest wind at 6 miles per hour. The dew point temperature is down to 58 degrees. That's the fitful 50s. Little stickiness for today. The relative humidity is 73%. And the pressure is rising. Now it's at 29.94. Most of what you are anxious about in this morning's weather will be displayed on this morning's view from Doppler 11, electronically interrogating the air throughout the Twin Cities and finding lots of stuff to return and report today. And it's raining over much of the southeastern part of Minnesota. There have been some fairly heavy showers further down in the southeastern corner, and it looks like an edge of rain for some time later today, and that's what we're going to find in the forecast. But light showers moving through the Twin Cities. In fact, I can hear a little rain on the roof even now where we are in Golden Valley. Now, later on today, as I say, we're expecting a change. We have had the passage of a front. We noticed that wind was around from the northwest, and that means front has passed, and all that moist air from yesterday is on its way out slowly. And by late this afternoon, we expect that the front will be that far away from us. All of its attendant cloudiness and shower activity should have moved away from us, and we're expecting a clearing of skies and then a significant cooling trend. In fact, the temperatures this morning were at 67 degrees, about where we've been overnight. By tomorrow morning could be a difference of 20 degrees as we have a big injection of cooler, high-pressure air arriving from Canada, but that means two things, not only an overnight low that's a little cooler, but sunshine for tomorrow and just a dandy sort of a day. So, taking it one step at a time. For this morning, the forecast is for morning rain and then clearing this afternoon, a high of 68 to 73, north to northwest winds at 10 to 20, could be a little gusty at times. And then for tonight, mostly clear and cooler, 47 to 51, the overnight low, a northerly wind of 5 to 15. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, a cool 65 to 70 degree high with northerly wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we look on toward the week, it looks like that pleasantness continues for a couple more days.
I know you don't want to commit yourself, but I heard you say earlier that Thursday would be the best day to go to the fair.
Certainly looks nice now.
Everything's moving in the right direction, isn't it?
I'm going to the fair Thursday.
Good.
Have you been there?
Not yet.
You'll have to make it. It's a lot of fun. Coming up, a big machinery maker locks its doors, and it's not because it's going out of business.
And General Electric Company is tinkering with one of its new properties. We'll tell you which one when we come back.
Introducing Folgers Red Brick Bag. It's the freshest idea in coffee.
We got a fresh idea. It's gonna hit you like a brick. We take fresh coffee and do a little trick. Take out all the air, make a solid brick of flavor. Open up to freshness, you're gonna savor. Mountain grown Folgers in a red brick bag. It's gonna hit you like a brick.
Folgers Brick Bag, the freshest idea in regular and decaffeinated coffee.
You need a ride home again?
Nope, the wife's picking me up in the new car.
She is. I thought you said you two shopped around for a car, but just couldn't cut it.
Hadn't been to Metro Motor Leasing. I leased it.
He what?
I leased it. Solved the whole deal with the lease. It's a lot easier than buying.
Down payment?
Easy.
Monthly payment?
Easy.
Could I do it?
Hey, if I can, you can. Talk to them. They made it easy.
Lease a Nissan Maxima SE for only $269 a month. Only at Metro Motor Leasing.
This is Judy with this week's Yellow Page specials. Your favorite Reeboks for men, women, and children are now up to $8 off. Recliners, save up to $200 on your choice of powered or standard. A dining room set, when you buy the table and 4 chairs, you get the 5th chair free. And voicemail, 1 free month when you subscribe. Call for all the details, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week.
The time right now is 6:10. The 10th largest bank in the country has dropped its prime lending rate. Wells Fargo dropped its prime rate from 8 to 7.5%. The move follows last week's lowering of the federal discount rate in an effort to stimulate the economy.
In our business report this morning, a major manufacturer of farm machinery remains closed.
Right now, company and union officials don't have any immediate plans to settle the matter. Kara King joins us now with the story.
That's right, Andria and Dennis. 13 Deere companies are closed this morning. The shutdown is affecting 13,000 United Auto workers employed by Deere. Union officials claim the workers are being locked out. Deere and company officials claim that a strike at 3 plants forced the shutdown of 10 other plants because they are dependent upon certain auto parts manufactured there. There are no bargaining talks scheduled at this time. Union officials say it could be a long strike. The stock market will begin trading in just a few hours. The Dow Jones Industrial Average will open at 1,871.77. The previous day's activities dropped the Dow by slightly more than 16 points. The price of gold, however, rose by $1. Gold currently sells for $380.70 per troy ounce. In our business outlook, NBC is expected to announce today that General Electric executive Robert Wright will replace Grant Tinker as chief executive of NBC. General Electric bought NBC earlier this year for $6.4 billion. And Home Box Office has landed a $300 million deal. MGM United Artists Communications says HBO will have a license with them for 72 movies over the next 4 years. The state of Ohio is the latest state to rule that the USX labor dispute is a lockout. Ohio workers will be eligible to collect unemployment benefits because of the ruling. Minnesota and Pennsylvania have already ruled in favor of the laborers, while Utah and Illinois ruled in favor of the company, denying unemployment benefits to the workers. Now it's time to grab a pencil and a sheet of paper. Kevin McDowell has a few tips you'll want to be aware of to help prepare yourself for the changes in the proposed new tax law.
The average American taxpayer is supposed to get a 6% tax cut under the proposed plan. But since no one is average, here are a few ways to make your tax bite less painful. Defer some 1987 income until 1988, when for most people tax rates will be lower. If you bill your clients, put off sending out late 1987 bills until 88. Consider giving more to charity this year. Non-itemizers will lose their deduction for charitable contributions, and the deduction won't be worth as much for those who itemize. And you can make an old building more beautiful and get a tax break in the process. If you fix up an historic structure, you get a 20% tax credit under the new plan. So taxes may be inevitable, but there are ways under tax reform to cut back on the amount you pay. For Sunrise, Kevin McDowell, News 11.
And then tomorrow, Kevin will tell us how the new law will affect you if you have kids. Or in your case, 2 kids.
Yes, you have one too.
Just one.
It's a new game all the way around, isn't
it sure is.
Thank you. When it comes to selling a home, the competition is fierce. Money reporter Steve Crowley tells us many homeowners who hang out the for sale by owner sign really don't know what they're getting into.
It's not just one booklet. There's many different sources.
Selling your home 1986 style is a lot more scientific than it was, say, 5 or 10 years ago. It starts with a multiple listing book and runs right through to computerized networks of home listed for sale by region. And even videotapes are used today to match up buyers and sellers fast. Rick and Jennifer Johnson don't care about all this technology. They're selling their home the old-fashioned way. No realtor, no commission.
Well, we've got a lot of steady, positive action, we think. We've got one offer and one potential offer on the house.
Trying to sell your own home and saving those commission dollars, well, it's not all good news. The woman trying to sell this home told me she got 27 calls in 2 months, all from realtors. Linda Fenton is still trying to avoid paying a $30,000 commission. Will she end up using a realtor?
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Naturally, I would like to sell it myself and give the individual the advantages of not paying a commission, but if the realtor brings me someone, bingo.
But if you do decide to go with a realtor right up front, you have to make sure you're choosing the right realtor, and you have to negotiate the deal. When you're trying to sell your home yourself, many realtors will still try to bring customers to you. Chuck Fasilla says FSBO sellers often don't know what they're doing.
Everyone has a chance to do whatever they want. I just feel that if I have an expensive piece of property, I'm going to go to a professional to market it the right way.
So the best advice might just be to play it both ways. First, try to sell the home yourself. And if you can't sell it, if it doesn't sell, then use a realtor. Choose a realtor who knows the area, who comes well recommended. Negotiate the commission. Don't pay 7% if you can get a 5% rate. The time period of the listing contract is important. Try to stay at 90 days or less. This gives you more control, more bargaining power with the realtor. It's all negotiable. A realtor can agree to sell your home without a contract. Ask. If you'd like some free advice on the best ways to sell your home, please write me here at the station and send along your self-addressed stamped envelope. Steve Crowley for News 11 Sunrise.
If you have any questions for Steve, just drop him a note with a self-addressed stamped envelope to his attention at KARE-11, 8811 Olson Memorial Highway, Minneapolis. The zip is 55427.
Still to come this morning on Sunrise, airline deregulation has changed commercial flying. We'll tell you how much and we'll tell you why.
Some farmers actually made more money last year, but they paid a price for their success. We'll tell you how.
Signs of cooler weather are ahead. We'll show you some of them. We'll tell you how much cooler it's going to get today.
And in sports, 1 out of every 6 Vikings won't be on the team after today. We'll give you the cutting details when we return.
At Waterbed Warehouse, you pay less, a lot less. And at Waterbed Warehouses, you get more, a lot more. Here's another great example. Bookcase waterbed, waveless mattress, mattress pad, padded rails, and a 6-drawer pedestal, all for $399. Remember, if you don't buy your waterbed from Waterbed Warehouses, you'll probably just get soaked. Waterbed Warehouses, we've been here and we're going to be here.
Ballparks around the major leagues come in different shapes and sizes. So do people. In fact, I'm not the easiest guy to fit, but at Foreman & Clark, the huge selection, which goes all the way to size 56, includes lots of suits, coats, and slacks in my size. And their free tailoring takes care of all my needs. Best of all, I get quality at a low price. Foreman & Clark have specialized for almost a century in menswear, and they feature low prices every day. Take my advice. If you want your clothes to perform better than a 400 hitter, buy them at Foreman & Clark.
We're putting together a commercial for The Connection. You tell us what features you like best about the electronic Yellow Pages. Maybe it's the friendly operators, or that you don't have to go digging through piles of phone books to find the number you want, or that the connection directly connects you without redialing, or maybe the fact that it's a free phone call. Whatever. If we select your letter, you'll star in the commercial for The Connection, the electronic Yellow Pages. Give us a listen, too, on WLOL in the mornings, and maybe we'll read some of your letters on the air.
It's now 18 minutes after 6. Attention armchair quarterbacks. If you think you can second-guess the guys on the field this fall, you now can test your intuition. There's a new board game called The Big Payoff. The game is designed for diehards. The object is to win your opponent's chips by calling the plays that the team of your choice makes on TV. For instance, if your team is on offense, you can place your chips on run or pass, settle for a field goal, or throw the long bomb for a touchdown. The game costs $19.95.
I have a feeling that game will be a big seller.
Certainly for some.
I think we should start placing our chips on who the Vikes are going to be cutting today. I think Kramer has a chance of making the team this year.
Oh, no.
But today is a cut-down day for the Vikes. They need to be at 50 players by this afternoon.
Ugh.
Today is not a happy day for some Minnesota Vikings. By the end of the day, the Vikes will have cut their roster by more than 10 players, by 10 players or more, to get to the league limit of 50. Players placed on the injured reserve list do not count on the roster. The final cuts will be a week from today. A few veteran NFLers woke up this morning without teams as several surprise cuts were made yesterday. The Saints released veteran quarterback Richard Todd, the Bears cut 10-year veteran receiver Brian Bashnagel, and the Dolphins let receiver and kick return specialist Tommy Vigorito have his walking papers. The Twins take their second worst record in baseball into Milwaukee this evening. The Brewers are the last place team in the American League East Division. However, if the Brewers played in the West along with the Twins, they'd be in third place. Game time is 7:30 in Milwaukee County Stadium. And the Twins are now 15.5 games behind the division-leading California Angels, and it's going to be a two-team race in the West through the last month of the season. The Rangers played in Boston last evening, hoping to prevent the Red Sox' Roger Clemens from becoming the major's first 20-game winner. And Clemens had a strong evening. In the third inning last night, he got this strikeout. He finished the night with 10 Ks. But the Rangers fought back to tie the game in the 8th inning on a 2-run home run by that well-known slugger, Gino Petralli. That tied the game at 2 in the 8th. And in the 9th with 2 outs, Ruben Sierra, another big slugger, cranks his 8th home run of the year, a 2-run shot to give Texas the 4-2 win. In other scores in the American League last night, it was Texas over Boston, it should say there. California over New York 5-3. Oakland whipped Detroit. And the White Sox were shut out by the Royals 2-0. In the National League, the Expos beat the Giants. The Reds nipped the Pirates. It was the Mets over the Padres 5-2. Atlanta cut the Cards. Houston edged out the Cubbies. And in the late game from Los Angeles, it was the Dodgers over the Phillies 3-1. Well, the U.S. Open tennis tournament begins this morning in Flushing Meadow, New York. The players put in a final day of practice Monday in preparation for the tournament. Boris Becker will be playing in his second U.S. Open, while Jimmy Connors will return to the Open after not winning there in several years. Connors is the only man to win the U.S. Open on all 3 of its surfaces: grass, synthetic, and concrete. Defending men's champ Ivan Lendl is seeded first in the tournament, followed closely by Mats Wilander and Boris Becker. Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe are seeded 6th and 9th. On the women's side, Martina is first, while Chrissy is seeded 2nd. Teenage star Steffi Graf is seeded 3rd, and defending champion Hanna Mandlikova is seeded 4th. The California Angels have told Reggie Jackson to look for a new team after this season. Jackson is 40 years old and has 541 career home runs. And high school football action begins this week in Minnesota, and that means the News 11 Sports Extra will return this Friday evening. Tom Ryther and Randy Shaver will have all those scores for you Friday night. And I know those guys are really fired up about the high school season starting up, especially Randy. He looks forward to that every year.
They do such a good job on
They really
that.
do. They really do.
Very hard. Thanks, Pete.
Okay.
For your
Thanks,
help.
Pete.
Today is Tuesday, August 26th, and it was on this day in 1920 that American women reached a political milestone.
They were granted the right to vote. For more than 20 years, the suffrage movement had gained momentum. 10 states had granted voting rights to women by 1917, but national rights took longer to obtain. Then in 1919, Congress approved the 19th Amendment. After 36 states ratified the amendment, it became law and gave women the right to vote on August 26, 1920.
On this day in history, in the year 1957, the Soviet Union announced it had successfully tested an intercontinental ballistic missile. And on the same day in 1981, a mission of peace, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin agreed to resume talks on Palestinian autonomy.
Today's famous birthdays include Washington Post executive editor Benjamin Bradley, who's 65. Former Democratic vice presidential nominee Geraldine Ferraro is 51. And Valerie Simpson of Ashford and Simpson is 38. Little rhythm and blues.
Yes, happy birthday to them. Coming up, going for profits on the farm is getting a little more risky.
And what's coming up in livestock judging today at the State Fair. We'll be right back.
You are traveling to another dimension. A dimension where selection and value have no limits. Your next stop, the Ripnick Zone. Case in point, Sarah Livingston, careful shopper. She searches for the best prices in town. Sarah only dreamt of owning a fur coat, till now. Last stop for Sarah Livingston, the Ripnick Zone. In the Ripnick Zone, you don't have to have $1 million to look like $1 million.
The Walter Stores again volunteered to be the official dealer sponsor of the Jerry Lewis Telethon. $100 will be donated in your name for every vehicle sold, and you still get the best buys of the year.
Final year-end closeout prices on over 2,000 new Buicks, Fords, Chevys, Chryslers, Mazdas, VWs, and more from $55.88. All available with no down payment. Factory financing from 5.5% or up to $1,500 cash.
Help yourself to a great deal and help Jerry's kids.
At all 6 Walter locations.
Chances are you've seen these people.
He is your grandson or the young man next door. She serves a rehabilitation program. Handy Ham serves the vision impaired. She volunteers time to teach and to tutor a disadvantaged. They symbolize the many ways people and programs make a difference in the Twin Cities. The Gannett Foundation tries to make a difference by funding local organizations that benefit local people. Together, we can make a difference in our world. The Gannett Foundation, helping community need.
This is the life, Uncle Cliff. Yeah, boy, it's great, huh? Mm-hmm. Hey, Nami, I got something over here to help you enjoy the day a little bit more, I think, huh?
Book?
Yeah.
I thought you only read other people's mail.
You kidding? I love books. Yeah, they're exciting, relaxing, and women like guys who read classy books.
I'm sure.
It's a proven fact.
Hey, what are you reading there? Oh, I love reading. This is such a good book. And it's really good.
Books, they do make a difference.
You know what? Have some
I wrote that book.
The time right now is 6:25. It wasn't utterly impossible in the milk barn out at the state fair as kids got to take part in the milking time. It was a moving sight. Many young folks participated in the free milking demonstration, and others made the event just a spectator sport. The demonstration was part of a series aimed at future farmers.
Normally it's a good idea to head out early and try and beat the crowds, but the strategy may be a little different today, I take it.
No, I'd go out early to beat the crowds and stay in the barn and watch the judging and all that stuff that's going on.
Dodge the raindrops.
Sure, exactly right, and dodge the hogs as they're making their way into that judging ring.
Right.
That's one of my least favorite parts. I'm always worried as I'm gingerly going down the hog barn. Is one of those porkers going to come? Well, never mind.
Yes, quit there.
Yes, the temperature, this is something that I really understand, is at 67 degrees. It's raining in the Twin Cities, a little northwest wind, 6 miles per hour. The dew point temperature is 58 degrees, relative humidity is 73%. The pressure is at 29.94. The pressure is rising. Pressure is rising. That's one of those things to remember. That means things may be getting clearer and drier in a while. Not right now. Here is Doppler 11 radar suggesting that at the moment it's raining where we are here in the Twin Cities and all down into southeastern Minnesota, and we're expecting that for this morning, but there is some clearing anticipated for this afternoon, so you'll see it on your way to work, and after that this afternoon there'll be some clearing. This is the way the map looks at this hour this morning. We are right where the front is, connecting a couple of centers of low pressure, and that's right where some of the most instability will always occur. That's one of the reasons why there is rain for right now. Now, the H for a big area of high pressure is one of the reasons there's going to be a change. Another reason is the letters there that say much cooler. But I suppose you want something more scientific than that. Well, you came to the right place. Here is the upper wind anticipation for tomorrow, and look at this for a change. A northerly flow coming around, a combination of the high here and the low here. That's a perfect combination of getting substantial northerly flow, so temperatures are going to be significantly cooler, but that means drier as well, and so daytime, that means sunshine. It all works together perfectly nicely. By this time, by this afternoon, I should say, we're expecting the area of high pressure, the center, to have moved a little more close to us, finish the sentence, and the front will have moved a little further away, and so we'll have a gradual clearing and things will be improving slowly. Temperatures in the high 60s, low 70s for today, and they'll be significantly cooler for tomorrow. And then, as there's been this marching across of fronts almost daily for the last several days, a slowing down, and the dandy weather of tomorrow may hold up for 2 or 3 days. So here's the forecast for the Twin Cities today. It says morning rain, clearing this afternoon, 68 to 73 for the high, and north-northwest winds at 10 to 20. And then for tonight, mostly clear, and it will be cooler, 47 to 51 is the low, north winds 5 to 15. For tomorrow, mostly sunny, but cool, 65 to 70 degrees with a little northerly breeze. And then add up the balance of the week, and look what we have. For Thursday, sunny. For Friday, sunny. For Saturday, partly cloudy.
And this contour analysis screening